There are moments when you pause, even just for a second, and realize your mind has been running ahead of your heart. You wake up already thinking about decisions, responsibilities, unfinished conversations, things you need to fix, things you're afraid might go wrong, and somewhere in the middle of all that noise, you sense it quietly. God hasn't been invited into any of it yet. Not intentionally, not personally, just assumed. You believe in God. You trust Him. But if you're honest, there are still corners of your thoughts where worry lives freely. There are choices you make on autopilot, steps you take because they feel urgent, not because they feel led. And sometimes you don't even realize it's happening until you feel tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. You want God involved. You really do. But the day moves fast. The pressure feels real. And it's easy to give Him your faith without giving Him your thoughts. Easy to give Him your words without giving Him your decisions. Easy to say, "Lord, lead me," while quietly steering things yourself. Maybe you've noticed that tension inside, that subtle pull between trust and control, between surrender and self-reliance. You're not trying to shut God out. You're just trying to keep up, trying to do your best, trying not to fall behind. And yet, deep down, you know something's missing. Because when God is only invited into parts of your life, peace comes in parts too. And your heart wasn't made to live divided. You weren't created to carry everything alone in your mind while God waits patiently for an invitation you intend to give, just later. So right now, before anything else moves forward, this is a moment to stop, to notice what's been weighing on you, to become aware of what's been guiding your thoughts, and to gently admit the truth. You want God closer than He's been allowed to be. Picture Jesus standing there in silence, not because He had nothing to say, but because love chose restraint. Words could have defended Him. Power could have ended it. One breath could have shifted everything. And yet, He stayed quiet, not weak, not defeated, just surrendered. This is the Son of God, the same voice that spoke creation into existence, the same voice that called Lazarus out of the grave, the same voice that calmed storms with a sentence. And now, that voice is still, accused falsely, mocked openly, beaten without mercy, and He does not speak to save Himself. That silence was not empty. It was heavy. It carried obedience. It carried trust. It carried a love that refused to pull away even when everything in the flesh would have screamed to escape. Jesus stood there absorbing cruelty without retaliation, injustice without defense, hatred without returning it, not because He had to, but because He chose you. Every moment He remained silent was a decision to keep going, a decision to drink the full weight of what love required, a decision to place the Father's will above His own suffering. The cross did not begin with nails. It began with surrender, with a heart that said yes long before the body was stretched across wood. And that silence speaks to you now. It asks something gentle, yet piercing. If Jesus trusted the Father enough to remain silent in His darkest hour, What does it mean for the moments when you feel misunderstood, pressured, or afraid to let go? What does his quiet obedience say to the parts of you that rush to defend, control, or explain? The cross shows you that love is not always loud. Faith is not always visible. Obedience is not always understood. Sometimes the most powerful act of trust is staying still in God's presence and choosing not to run. Jesus' silence was not the absence of action. It was the deepest act of faith the world has ever seen. Right in the middle of all your thinking, all your planning, all your quiet attempts to manage life on your own, Scripture interrupts you, not to overwhelm you, but to recenter you. Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 says this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." That verse doesn't rush past the hard part. It names it. Leaning on your own understanding feels natural. It feels responsible. It feels safe. You look at what you can see, what you can predict, what you can control. And God gently says, don't put your full weight there. Not because you're careless, but because you're limited. Your view is partial. His is complete. Then comes the invitation that changes everything. In all your ways, submit to him. Not just in prayer time, not just in moments of crisis. In all your ways, your thoughts, your choices, your reactions, your next step, the small decisions you don't even pray about anymore. God is asking for access there, not to restrict you, but to guide you. And there's a promise attached. He will make your paths straight, not necessarily easy, not instantly clear, but aligned, directed, steady. When God is invited into every thought and every choice, confusion begins to lose its grip. Anxiety doesn't have the final word. You don't have to carry the pressure of figuring everything out alone. This verse doesn't demand perfection. It invites trust, a daily, honest trust that says, Lord, I don't see the whole road, but I'm willing to let you lead the next step. This is where things become quietly uncomfortable. Not because God is harsh, but because truth has a way of touching the places we protect. It's one thing to trust God in theory. It's another thing to actually follow him when obedience costs you something. When it asks you to slow down. When it asks you to release control. When it asks you to choose faith over what feels familiar. So let me ask you something, gently. When was the last time you paused before a decision and truly asked, Lord, what do you want? Not as a formality, not as a backup plan, but as the starting point. When was the last time you allowed God to interrupt a choice that felt right to you, but maybe wasn't aligned with him? Following Jesus isn't just about believing the right things. It's about letting him shape the way you think, the way you respond, the way you move through the day. And that's where resistance often shows up. Because surrender sounds beautiful until it touches your schedule, your ambitions, your relationships, or your need to be in control. You can love Jesus deeply and still hold parts of your life too tightly. You can worship him sincerely and still hesitate to let him lead every step. And that doesn't make you a bad believer. It makes you human. But it does invite a decision. Will faith stay comfortable, or will it become obedient? Jesus never forced anyone to follow him. He invited them, but his invitation always came with a cost, not to burden you, but to free you. Because what you cling to for security can slowly become what weighs you down. And what you release into God's hands is often what finally brings peace. So the question isn't whether you believe in Jesus. The question is whether you're willing to let him lead when the path asks for trust instead of certainty. There's a quiet shift that happens when faith moves from something you hold to something that holds you. When Jesus is no longer just someone you believe in, but someone you follow. That shift doesn't usually come in a dramatic moment. It happens slowly, in the ordinary places of life, where choices are made and habits are formed. Being a follower means you begin to ask different questions. Not just, is this allowed? But, does this draw me closer to God? Not just, can I handle this? But, is this what he's leading me toward? It's a change in posture, a willingness to let God define success instead of the world, a readiness to choose faithfulness over comfort even when no one else sees it. Following Jesus means learning to release pride when humility feels costly. It means surrendering control when anxiety pushes you to manage everything yourself. It means choosing obedience in moments where compromise would be easier and more convenient. This isn't about perfection, it's about direction, about the quiet, consistent choice to align your life with his heart. And the beautiful thing is, God doesn't ask for transformation without offering grace. He doesn't demand change and leave you to figure it out alone. He walks with you. He teaches you. He gently reshapes you from the inside out as you trust him with more and more of your life. This is where identity begins to settle. You're no longer defined by pressure, fear, or the need to prove yourself. You're defined by belonging, by being led, by knowing that every step doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be surrendered. When you move from belief to following, faith becomes lived, not just spoken, and your life slowly begins to reflect the one you're walking with. Jesus, here I am, not rushing, not pretending, just here. You already know what my heart has been carrying, but I still want to say it out loud. I want to bring it into the light of your presence, because I'm tired of holding things together on my own, tired of overthinking every step, tired of carrying responsibilities in my mind that were never meant to live there alone. Thank you for staying patient with me. Thank you for never withdrawing your love. When I hesitate, when I struggle to trust, when I give you parts of my life but quietly hold others back. You don't shame me for that. You invite me closer. And right now, I choose to come. Jesus, I thank you for the cross, for the cost you willingly paid so I could stand here freely, without fear. You didn't just make a way for my sins to be forgiven. You made a way for my heart to rest. You carried the weight I could never carry. You endured what I could never endure. And you did it with love, not reluctance. I confess, Lord, that there are days I say I trust you, but still lean heavily on my own understanding. I plan, I decide, I react, and only afterward do I invite you in. Forgive me for the times I've treated your guidance as optional instead of essential. Forgive me for the times I've chosen speed over surrender, control over obedience, comfort over faith. I give you my thoughts, Jesus, the ones that race ahead into tomorrow, the ones that replay yesterday, the ones that whisper fear, comparison, or doubt. I surrender the habit of worrying things through as if my worry could fix them. Teach me how to pause and place each thought into your hands instead. I give you my choices, the obvious ones and the quiet ones, the decisions I pray about and the ones I usually make without you. I don't want to live on autopilot anymore. I don't want to assume I know the best way forward. I want my life to be shaped by your wisdom, not driven by my anxiety. I give you my steps, even the ones I don't fully understand yet, even the paths that feel uncertain, even the places where I'm afraid of making the wrong move. Lead me, Lord. Slow me when I need to slow down. Redirect me when I'm heading the wrong way. Give me courage to follow when obedience feels costly. Jesus, if there is pride in me that resists your leading, gently expose it. If there is fear that keeps me holding on to control, lovingly loosen its grip. If there are comforts I've placed above you, even good things, show me where my heart has grown divided. I don't want anything to compete with my love for you. I surrender my need to have everything figured out. I surrender my timelines. I surrender my expectations of how things should unfold. I surrender the pressure I put on myself to be strong, capable, and put together all the time. You never asked that of me. You asked me to trust you. Jesus, shape my heart. Form your character in me. Let your patience grow where I've been reactive. Let your gentleness replace my defensiveness. Let your humility take root where pride has quietly lived. I don't want to just look like a follower of Christ. I want to be one from the inside out. If there is bitterness I've ignored, soften it. If there is unforgiveness I've justified, dissolve it. If there are habits pulling me away from you, give me strength to release them, not through willpower alone, but through a deeper love for you. I want obedience to flow from affection, not fear. Lord, I am weary, not just physically, but in my soul. Weary from striving, weary from comparison, weary from chasing what the world says matters. And you invite me into rest, not escape, not avoidance, but real rest. Rest that comes from knowing you are leading, and I don't have to carry everything alone. Give me a heart that listens, a heart that notices your nudges, a heart that pauses before reacting. Teach me how to walk closely with you, not just occasionally. I want to recognize your voice in the ordinary moments of my day, in conversations, in decisions, in silence. Jesus, I choose surrender again today, not once and for all, but honestly, as I am. I choose to open my hands instead of clenching my fists. I choose trust over fear, faith over certainty, presence over pressure. I don't want to rush ahead of you, and I don't want to lag behind. I want to walk with you. If my heart has grown distracted, refocus it. If my faith has grown tired, strengthen it. If my love has grown routine, renew it. I don't want to live a divided life. I want my thoughts, my choices, and my steps to move in the same direction, toward you. Jesus, let your peace settle over me now. Not the kind that depends on circumstances changing, but the kind that comes from knowing I am not alone, knowing you are present, knowing you are faithful, knowing you are already at work, even in ways I cannot see yet. I trust you with today. I trust you with tomorrow. I trust you with the things I understand and the things I don't. Lead me, shape me, walk with me. I belong to you. Take a breath right here. You don't have to rush away from this moment. God is not finished with you, and He's not frustrated with the pace of your growth. He knows how to lead gently. He knows how to hold you steady without pressure, and He knows exactly where you are. Even now, when you feel unsure or unfinished, His presence remains constant. He does not withdraw because you're still learning how to trust. He draws nearer. The same God who invites you to surrender is the God who promises to walk with you through every step that follows. You are not behind. You are not failing because you're still learning. God measures faithfulness differently than the world does. He sees the quiet yes in your heart. He honors the desire to follow, even when the path feels unclear. And He is patient as He teaches you how to rest in His leading. Let His peace settle into the places that have felt restless. Let His assurance replace the pressure to have everything figured out. You are being guided, even when it doesn't feel dramatic. You are being held, even when you feel weak. And you are loved, not for how well you follow, but because you belong to Him. May the Lord bless you with clarity where you felt confused, calm where you felt anxious, and confidence in His presence as you move forward. You are not walking alone. God is with you, and He will not let go. As you step back into your day, carry this awareness with you. God has been invited in, not just into your prayers, but into your thoughts, your choices, and your steps. You don't have to force anything. Just keep returning to Him, moment by moment. If this time of prayer spoke to your heart, you can simply whisper Amen as a quiet agreement with God. And if there's something specific you need prayer for today, you're welcome to share it. You don't have to carry it alone. May the grace of Jesus guard your heart. May His peace steady your mind. And may His presence guide you gently through whatever lies ahead. Go slowly, walk honestly, and trust that God is already walking with you.